Okay, this lesson will be over something called dimensional analysis.
What's dimensional analysis?
Well, it's a fancy way of saying converting between different units, say between grams and kilograms and pounds and so forth.
Okay.
So the way we'll set it up, we'll use 3 steps. The first step will be to start with what you want to convert, and it'll be very important to include units
Okay.
at the end of
All
that
right.
number. Next, you would multiply by what's called a conversion factor, which is simply a fraction, something on the top, something on the bottom, which relates the 2 units.
Okay. And then I guess you would have to write a conversion factor so that the unit you're converting from cancels.
Excellent. Very nice. Nicely done.
Thank
Good
you.
anticipation, Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
So we're going to show you, why don't we show you a quick example of this. And this example here is an example from daily life. I don't know if you have ever had an occasion to convert from hours to minutes, but if someone asks you how many minutes there are in 2 hours, you can probably guess 120.
Well, that seems like a really hard way to do an easy problem, though.
And this is the whole point. We want to show you the outline of it, and then we'll apply this method to a much tougher problem which you could not have done in your head.
But yeah, this just seems so easy. 2
Yep.
hours, 120 minutes. I know that right away. So
Excellent. So knowing it, let's see if we could show you applied it to this method. So notice we began with our 2 hours, which is what we want to convert.
right.
And notice here is our conversion factor. I've outlined it for you here, 60 minutes and 1 hour. The most important thing is that whatever you began with, which in this case was hours, also went on the bottom, so they can cancel out. And this is really from math. Anything on top of a fraction cancels out with anything on the bottom of a fraction. And then on the opposite side of the conversion factor, you have your minutes. Notice your 1 hour equals your 60 minutes, just like the conversion factor says. And once you've written that, all it is multiply 2 by 60 divided by 1.
Okay. Now, what if I didn't know that 60 minutes is an hour? Like, what if I knew how many minutes was in 3 hours? Would that still work?
Yeah, it'll still work, yeah. Yeah, as long as you know the relationship between this unit, the hour, and this unit, the minute, you're good to go.
So as long as they're equal, then it'll work.
Yeah, as long as you know, what they equal each other.
Okay. All right.
So let's try an example that's essentially a little more involved. And Ms. Patterson, did you want to do this example?
no,
or
you go first, then I'll see if I can get the hang of it, and then I'll try the next one.
Excellent. So here we want to convert from 5.5 miles into kilometers. The rest of the world uses kilometers. Only the United States is holding out. So remember, step 1 is we put down what we want to convert, which in this case is 5.5 miles. Don't forget to label it. Very important to label your unit. Step 2, you would multiply by a conversion factor. Now, our conversion factor is given to us, and it is 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometers. The most important thing about this conversion factor is we want to put the miles on the bottom. Do you remember why?
So the units cancel.
Exactly right. So the units are on opposite sides. This one's on top, this one's on the bottom. And then you would put the kilometers, what you're converting to, on the opposite side of the conversion factor.
Okay.
And then simply fill the numbers in. So the miles has a 1.0 with it, so put a 1.0 with the miles. Kilometers, 1.6. There it goes. And then it's easy as multiplying by the top, dividing by the bottom.
Okay.
So 5.5 times 1.6 is probably 10-ish,
Yeah. More than 5.
more than 5. So
Less than 100.
whip out your calculator.
And I guess this would have been easier if it was just 5 miles, because you wouldn't have had to do this whole dimensional analysis thing. So this does make it easier, especially for decimals, 5.5,
Oh, yeah.
or I guess eventually in chemistry we'll have 5.504, we'll have some even more specific numbers. So
Exactly right. And this method will help you get there every single time.
this looks fun too. Can I try one?
Yes. Don't forget, before I let you go, don't forget, anytime you put a number down, what do we have to do, Mr. Patterson?
Circle it.
Excellent. And don't forget the unit.
Oh, yeah. Circle it and the units. I'll do both. All right, so I'm going to do this problem.
Go ahead and
Do the selector.
and then kill the.
All right.
What I should do is I go here. Yeah.
All right. Okay, it's gone.
And then back to
And
excellent.
back to right. All right, so I'm on convert 5.5 miles into kilometers.
We just did that one, huh?
We just did that one. Let's
Yep.
do a different one. All right. So example 2, okay, you have to hit it twice sometimes. I remember learning that last time. All right, convert 156 centimeters to meters. So it doesn't really matter what it says to change it to. I write down the number in units automatically at the very beginning, and then mine looks a little bit different than yours, maybe a little bit more efficient, maybe even neater.
We'll find out from the students' scores.
Yes, we will. Okay, so I'm going to put centimeters down here, just so the units cancel, and I'm going to put meters at the top.
And
So
is
units
it okay to, I see it says meters, you don't have to write out the whole word meters?
No, I'm just I'm saving electrons here.
Excellent.
So, yeah, kind of nice. Now, the hard part here is you have to remember how many meters are in a centimeter or vice versa. And so you can use 0.1 meter, or you can use really any numbers you want as long as the top and bottom are equal. And I just happen to remember that there's 100 centimeters in a meter. So I'm going to go ahead and cross out my units there so that I know I'm left with a meter. And then I do 156 times 1, and then we divide it by 100. So we're going to have 1.56 meters is our answer. And then we kind of look at our answer and make sure that we have the proper number of significant figures and everything, and I think we're good. So how did I do?
Better than me, so we're tied.
Nice. Okay, so is this it for our recording on dimensional analysis?
So this is just one step. We still have to talk about 2 steps, and we can do it. Why don't we do a quick separate video on that?
You think so? Okay. So click done.
You have to go. Whoops.